Welcome back to a Ball and Play Fast Break. If you watched any college football this weekend, you saw them. Slick professional ads urging Congress to support something called the SCORE Act. But dig beneath the surface of those polished claims, and you find why athletes in smaller schools are calling this a sophisticated manipulation campaign by the NCAA and the power conferences. So, what is the SCORE Act? The SCORE Act is the Student Compensation and Opportunity Through Rights and Endorsements Act. It's a bill introduced in Congress. Its proponents, including the NCAA and the SEC, claim it will bring national uniformity to NIL rules and protect athletes with benefits like mental health services and health insurance. The ads running during the biggest games over the past weekend were designed to sell you on this simple athlete friendly message. But that's the core of the manipulation. The reality, according to critics and me, is that the SCORE Act is a smokescreen designed to lock down a system that heavily favors the wealthy few. The manipulation works through two main mechanisms hidden in the bill's fine print. The first is codifying amateurism and denying employee status. The bill explicitly states that a college athlete cannot be considered an employee. This is the single most restrictive part. It wipes out years of hard-fought legal gains that could have given athletes basic rights like the right to form a union and collectively bargain, access to minimum wage protections, access to workers' compensation. By blocking employee status, the SCORE Act legally codifies the term amateur, preserving the current model where the NCAA and the schools keep the massive profits without paying fair wages. Giving unchecked power to the NCAA is through the second mechanism, which is antitrust immunity. The SCORE Act grants limited immunity to the NCAA, protecting it from future lawsuits under antitrust law. Why does this matter? Because the court system is the only reason that the athletes have the NIL rights they do today. Granting this immunity means the NCAA, which has a proven track record of violating antitrust laws, gets to set the future limits on compensation and athlete movement without fear of legal challenge. Critics argue that this would cap athlete pay, because the bill gives the NCAA the power to set pool limits for NIL compensation, essentially capping how much athletes can earn. It'll hurt non-revenue sports, which it already has, by concentrating power in the SEC and the Big Ten. It reinforces the competitive gap, and leaves smaller schools and non-revenue Olympic sports vulnerable to budget cuts. The final take is this. When you see those expensive ads, remember the subtext. They aren't just selling protection, they're selling a legislative shield for the NCAA. The SCORE Act is being pushed to protect the status quo. Massive revenue for the institution, limited rights and capped pay for the athlete. And the debate isn't over. You need to look out for opposition, especially the SAFE Act being pushed by the Senate, which is a much more athlete-centric piece of legislation but still has its flaws.